curious if there's any similar feelings today, or is it different?
No, it's similar feelings. Similar feelings. Like I said last week, and I tried to talk to the guys after, you can't get numb to this. You know, this pain on the inside that we have, we gotta hold on to that. The bad taste in our mouth, we can't get used to losing like this. There's no way around it. There's no way around it. And the only way that we're gonna do it is doing it together. We have to stay together in this. You know, you see the fans booing us today, fans leaving early. You know, at the end of the day, we're all that we got. We're all that we got. We can't. Don't get me wrong, I appreciate the fans that show up every day, cheer us on, or show up every game. I do appreciate that, but at the end of the day, we're the last ones on that field, and we're the ones that have to go out there and make it happen. So we can't get caught up in the offense getting booed. We can't get caught up in people leaving early. I mean, there was chirping behind the sidelines, and we're all that we got. We're all that we got at this point, and the only way we're going to press forward is stay together. We have to stay together.
What kind of chirping behind the sidelines?
No, it's just fans talking. I don't even know. I could hear them talking to the bench, and I was making sure guys weren't talking back. There's no point.
You expressed your anger at Chicago. Why don't you think it resulted in a better team performance this week after all went to?
It's a great question. That's a great question. I think there needs to be a lot of reflecting with everybody on this team. Every single guy, including myself. There needs to be a lot of reflecting of what do you bring to the table on this team? What do you bring to the table? Do you do the little things right? Not just when you wear a Wisconsin jersey on Saturdays, but do you do the little things right when you show up in the building on Monday, and when you don't feel very good, or you're getting kind of tired of the routine? What do you bring to the table every day? And that's what I think we all need to reflect on, and we need to figure this out, and we got to figure it out together. Again, we just can't point fingers. We can't. It's all of us.
I'm guessing Jim overall would be happy with your defensive performance, but I'm curious from your perspective, there were some third down stops, fourth down stops. Do you think you should be better as a unit in certain spots?
Yeah, absolutely. It was a weird feeling coming off the field today, because I feel like they didn't really run all over us necessarily. You know, they had a couple passes, a couple big play passes, but I didn't feel like walking off that field we got our tails whooped. Defensively, I didn't feel that way. But I did feel like they got to 3rd and 1, 4th and 1 a lot today, and drives just trickled into the red zone. That's how I felt. And they did a good job of just pounding the rock and getting to those 3rd and 1s and 4th and 1s, and then giving their offense another chance to keep the drive alive. And that's where we got to do a better job. And there were a couple of 3rd and longs that we gave up. We got to get off the field in those situations. And that's where I talked about last week about the defense doing their part. We got to do our part. We got to do it.
When a team goes for it, y'all kind of take that personally as a defense?
I'm sorry.
When a team goes for it on 4th down, y'all kind of take that personally?
Oh, yeah, we do. I mean, I think that's just the competitive nature of our defense. Is like, okay, you think you can run it on us on 4th and 1? Like, okay, let's strap it up and go. And they got a couple, They got a couple, and, they did a good job competing against us. Their running backs run really hard. They were good backs, and we got to take advantage of those opportunities though that are given, because that can help change the game a little bit. That can turn the momentum, and maybe the defense didn't necessarily get our tails whipped, but stuff like that is like, okay, if we want to be the greatest in the country, that's what we got to do.
There was a wheel route early on where you came over and broke it up kind of at the very end. When you broke on that route, did you think you were going to have an interception?
I was trying to track the guy first. I saw him like, okay, he's throwing this ball. I got to go. And I had to see where he was at. And then by the time I looked back up, the ball was about to land into his hands. And if I go for an interception there and I miss him, or if I miss the ball, then it's 6. So it was kind of more like, all right, I just got to at least get a hand in there, play the hands a little bit, and thankfully didn't catch the ball.
You said last week, and you've said it again today, you don't want to point fingers at anyone, so I'm not going to ask you to do that. But when you look at the offense and what has happened here this season, are you surprised at all that it's been as challenging as it has been? That really hasn't allowed you guys to stay in some games.
Yeah, I am surprised at that because we have really, really good players. And I trust our coaches. I trust this culture. And, you know, so that's where it's like, gosh, we don't, and I'm on the other side of the ball. I don't know. I'm not, that's why, I'll never point fingers, never say who's who. But that's the reality of it. It is like, gosh, we have some really good players on this offense. Like, I still trust them. The fans were booing them today. I came to their side of the sideline, and I was like, screw everybody else. I'm in this boat with y'all, and I will sink with y'all. I don't care, because we're in the middle of battle, and like we gotta ride with what's going on in that moment. So, but yeah, it's definitely frustrating because I know all those guys are capable of making big plays.
And the mistakes that keep happening after week 1, week 2, week 4, do they get demoralizing the longer into the season they happen that maybe could have been corrected earlier? Kicks out of balance, things like tough punts, things like that.
Yeah, I mean, we got to execute better. We got to execute better in all areas. I mean, there's some times a day of on special teams, and then obviously defense, because I was out there and I can control some of those things. I mean, I didn't play a perfect game. I gotta play better too. So everybody across the board again has got to go and reflect on what they can bring to the table to this team for the rest of the season.
When you talk about you don't want people to point fingers, you got to remember to play together. So, is that you being proactive as a leader, or did you see some signs maybe last week that let's nip this in the bud now?
Yeah, no, it is more being proactive. I saw it happen more last year.
Really?
Last season. Yeah, and me and the rest of the leaders on this team, we agreed that we will not let that happen again. And you saw what happened last year. I mean, we were 4-3. Like, and I think that was a piece of it, was our team getting divided. And I will do everything I possibly can. I know the rest of the leaders can say the same thing to not let that happen again. So more being proactive at this point, just from experience.
So just to be clear, have you seen any signs this year, anything similar to last year that you just talked about?
No, I don't. Which is why I'm not stressed out about it, because I know that these guys are willing to follow the leaders on this team.